police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. Earlier this week at the Heart Media Group, we brought you the Clinton YMCA's proposed new building project at the Safe Passage Green Space just off the downtown Clinton Square. At the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting, Clinton Y Executive Director Rennie Kluver brought the proposed drawings of the new facility to the City Council. The YMCA is experiencing incredible participation in almost all its offerings.
What's really cool about this is, as I was looking at statistics of the impact that the Y has, I knew the Y had impact, but when I really drilled down to it and saw the imprint that the Y has in the community, there's really no other organization that can do that. There's youth programming, all the way to adult programming, senior citizen programming. And we had over 38,000 people come through our doors last year. And that's 38 imprints, not 38,000 different people. And they check in 38,000 times, and those are the ones that are checking in. There's a lot that don't check in. We had over 4,500 participants in our programs in 2025. This facility, part of our mission, is to be able to offer more. Now, what you can see there, this is our goal of adding on a pool to phase one, which would be a retractable, it's called a Dino Dome, where we could actually offer the community an indoor-outdoor pool. So like say this time of year, it opens up, you can offer it to the community without having to be a YMCA member. Our architect firm, Farnsworth, out of Peoria, has been working on this for us. So, we're really here to talk to the city, and we want the collaboration with the city. And we need the collaboration with the city, and we're hopeful that we can provide you with ideas on how the city can help us in areas that we need.
Jonathan Teal with Donor by Design, the firm working with the YMCA in its massive fundraising effort, has been impressed by the community support for this project, but says oftentimes the final leg of fundraising is the most challenging.
I've been extremely, frankly, impressed with the donors in DeWitt County. We've been able to raise just over $8 million, $8.2 million on a goal of $10 million in philanthropic investment towards this campaign. And I'm being very frank, we've gotten there in a way that has, again, I think surprised even what we saw in our feasibility study that we did early on. So again, roughly 82% of the way to a $10 million goal. Our experience time after time is that last 20% to any fundraising goal in a capital campaign is the hardest. Also, in almost every project, YMCA project that we are a part of council on, there is a partnership with that local municipality. Sometimes that comes on the front end and the fundraising comes on the back end. Sometimes that happens where individual contributions come first and then municipalities, school systems, et cetera, partners come alongside, whether it be on the funding side, the logistics side, or the infrastructure side. So we see that time and time again. So again, wanted to give an update on where we are with fundraising, and just love it as a public setting, commend the community of Clinton and DeWitt County for the generosity that's been shown. This project truly has blown me away. There's been a couple times Rennie and I have been on the phone when gifts have come in, and kind of an emotional deal. the level of giving that has happened for this. And again, contrasted with, again, my experience, our first experience, that this last 20% is the hardest. And it's the hardest in every large-scale campaign that we do.
For Kluver, the Warner Foundation has been a huge partner for the Y through providing the green space for the proposed location.
And I wanted to talk about how this got to where we're at with Prairie Passage being the location. We decided that we wanted to build a couple of courts with a walk-around track for the community. We reached out to, like, what would be a great place? Now, we're the old junior high and high school were. So we reached out to the Warner Foundation, and just so it happened that they were looking to put something there that would drive foot traffic to the downtown area. And they couldn't imagine a better project to do that with. So that's, in a quick summary, that's how we even got to that point. And if it wasn't for the Warner Foundation, we wouldn't be here tonight. Right? They see that this is part of their overall mission, driving more foot traffic to the downtown area. And so we've been working very closely with the foundation in doing that. Even the architect here, we've talked about how we want this to be aesthetically pleasing in the neighborhood, and talking about lighting, and we want this to, there's gonna be a lot of traffic there, a lot of foot traffic. We want to host tournaments and have our own programming get a lot bigger, and so with the pool as well. So we're taking in all consideration of that to try to make this the best project for the community.
Kluver hopes to put the call out for the rest of the community to support this effort by the fall, with the goal of breaking ground by the spring of 2027. Despite students just getting out for the summer, a local early childhood education center is asking parents to start thinking about next year. Chrissy Conklin with Community Action's Head Start program explains that registration is already open. The program aims to create well-rounded students who are 5 years old and younger and give them a head start as they advance to kindergarten.
Well, I mean, seems kind of crazy, but now is the time to make sure that our families are thinking about the fall already, even though it's a couple months out, but thinking about fall, thinking about where their children are going to get educated if they're less than 5 years old. And so now's the time to apply. So Head Start in and of itself is to get children ready for the school. So that's really the main goal. So we serve children, we serve actually pregnant moms through the age of 5. And we have 2 different programs. One is early Head Start. So that's pregnant mom to age 3. And then when they turn age 3 and if we have a spot open in that preschool classroom, then they will go into that 3 to 5 preschool classroom.
The Early Head Start program is geared towards at-home education, although both programs utilize the widely used creative curriculum model. Conklin adds that they also work to support the families of their students.
In both of our classrooms, in our center-based classrooms, we use creative curriculum as our curriculum. Lots of school districts, it's, I think, the 1 curriculum to use. So it's well known because it works really well. So we use those in our classrooms. And then for our early Head Start, like home-based program, we have family educators that go into the home and they work with the parents, and then they work with the parents on how to work with their children and support their growth and development, communication, all those things. But something that I would say that sets us apart from several other places is the fact that we focus on the whole child and the whole family. So when children are in our program, whatever age that is, we have other staff members that work with the family. So if a family is struggling with budgeting, or they want to buy a car, or they want to get a different job and they need to do some training, we help with that. We help them make the connections with going to community college or some other training, or setting up meetings, working through applications with them. So it's not, the education of the child when they're with our staff, but then also the children are going to benefit when the family is in a better place.
Totally.
Financially, mentally, socially, all of that.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
To register, Conklin says you can go online, visit their Facebook page, or visit them in person for a paper option. Parents will need to provide proof of income and the child's birth certificate.
So registering is completing an application. There's a few different ways to contact our capsule community action. If people want to go on the website, it's capsule.info. And you can go there. And when you're there, you can go to the Head Start department, and there's just an interest questionnaire. Just name, county, and then that email actually gets sent to me, and I send it to whatever location I need to. That's one way to do it. We have a lot of information on our Facebook page. So if somebody wants to do it virtual that way, we have a chat option. So we actually had this discussion yesterday. So we had a lot of talk about that and doing the whole process online. So that's going to take some time, but that's definitely something that I want to look into.
Cool.
Because it's easier for some of our families to do things because technology, right? That's something I want to look into, but I still also think it's important to maintain things that are just on paper because some people do better with that. And it would be ironic if we didn't provide multiple ways. So ideally, if a family is ready to apply, they would have the birth certificates of the children. A certified copy of that would be great. Proof of income. So whether that is from taxes or SNAP eligibility form, that would work too. Insurance card would be helpful, but I would say those would be the two big factors.
Yeah. Anyone can apply for Head Start, but there are income guidelines that help community action prioritize those in need. Conklin explains that that children in foster care or those of parents who are eligible for SNAP benefits automatically qualify.
Anybody can apply to be in Head Start or Early Head Start. So anybody can apply. We always welcome that. But as far as the families that are eligible for the program, anybody that is in foster care, maybe DCFS intact, if they have SNAP, so SNAP eligibility, or if they're struggling with a place to live that's not consistent for them, those are some eligibility factors that we have. So there are other factors that come into play too, but those are pretty common. But yeah, if people don't have any of those, they can still apply and they can still get in. So it just kind of depends on all the criteria of all the other applications. The idea is to apply now. I mean, just for when you're trying to get into other programs or even just the school district, like there's registration days that are a couple months ahead of time because everybody needs to plan and numbers and all that, staffing. So we have the same type of, prep work and things like that.
Learn more about the Head Start program and register now by visiting capsule.info/head-start or by visiting the office at 45 Cedar Drive in Clinton. You are listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
Looking for a new Silverado? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverado inventory. We have Silverados in 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s with several trim levels, custom, LT, RST, LTZ, and yes, even high countries. All our inventory is priced for our summer savings season. Baum Chevrolet Buick. Together, let's drive. BaumChevroletBuick.com right from the start.
It's the quiet moments you count on. A call that connects instantly, a show that never buffers, a home that just works. That's the difference with Connexus Fiber Internet. We built a buried fiber network designed for consistency, earning us the title of top-rated fiber internet provider in Illinois. With plans starting as low as $25 a month and 3-year price lock options, it's reliability you can feel without the unpredictability. Because with Connexus, connection means everything. Experience better at Connexus.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 23 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The University of Illinois Extension is hosting programs all summer long to help keep kids busy and learning. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Extension Director in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties, Terry Casey, told the Heart Media Group that the next 4-H program is Cloverbud Camp, where students can dive into topics like art and STEM. This program took place on Tuesday, but they will be hosting another opportunity on July 7th.
Yeah, we've got several 4-H summer fun programs that we're doing this year. The kids are out of school, and mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, they're probably all ready to get those kids out somewhere to keep them focused and have a good time. And so we're here to help with that in 4-H. On June 16th, we have a Discover, Learn, and Have Fun at 4-H Clover Camp. So we have a Clover Bud Camp. This is for ages 5 to 7. And this is a chance for the kids to explore topics like art, STEM, nature, animals, kitchen science, sound, music, lots of different things to keep the kids excited, stimulated, and learning. And that's again, June 16th. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's at the Logan County Extension Office in Lincoln. But we also have a second session on July 7th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., also at the Logan County Extension Office. And these are free to attend, and they're for kids ages 5 to 7. Mm-hmm. And we have a few spots left for those. We just want to make sure that, pack the lunch for the kiddos, because it is all day of fun.
Students interested in fashion and design should take note of the clothing embellishment workshop today, June 17th, from 10 a.m. to noon. This program will allow kids to flex their creative muscles and create things they can wear.
Yeah, we have a 4-H clothing embellishment workshop so kids can create and design and embellish their own clothes. That's on June 17th. That's tomorrow. It's from 10 a.m. to noon. And that's at the Ansel Community Room in Petersburg. So that's a really great opportunity for the kids to come and bring their own clothes, and they can bedazzle them. Or as kids to say nowadays, they say glow up. That's the big thing. It can be as simple or as intricate as the level of the child we're working with. Mm-hmm. And that's for ages 5 to 18. Again, it's free to attend. And we have a few spots left for that too. So please, come and bring those kiddos, bring some of those clothes, and come with some glowed up. The other thing the kids say, oh, drip, you'll drip. I guess that means you'll look good. Whatever the kids say today to look cool, go to the workshop, and then they can learn how to look cool.
All right. It wouldn't be summer in Central Illinois without the 4-H fair season, and Casey indicates that students in her service area will be showing off their projects on June 27th at the Sangamon County Fairgrounds.
Well, yeah, we have our Sangamon County 4-H show, and that's going to be just coming up just in the next week or so. It's June 27th, and that's from 8:30 until 4, and that's our general projects show where the kids bring a little bit of everything they've been working on the whole year, and that's at the Sangamon County Fairgrounds in New Berlin. And we do have an opportunity for the public to come in and check things out from 1 to 3 p.m. It's public viewing, so I just really encourage folks to if you're out for a drive in beautiful New Berlin on the 27th, stop by and see what the kids have been working on. I think people would be so impressed to see the projects the kids work on, the different, oh my gosh, everything from woodworking to electric to, clothing to just art, plenty of art. Oh, kids are so creative. I highly encourage folks to come on out June 27th to New Berlin and see what the kids are doing. You'll be impressed and you'll be excited for the future.
Learn more about 4-H in Logan, Menard, and Sangamon counties and all of the Extension's offerings by visiting extension.illinois.edu/LMS or by finding them on Facebook. Another group is progressing through the Illinois Ag Leadership Foundation program. Miriam Gay is with Corteva Agri-Science and is a fellow in the IALF class of 2027.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one favorite experience. I think the two that probably jump out the most to me are the week that we spent in Washington, D.C. That was just this past March, a few months ago. And that was, I love visiting D.C. I was fortunate to have visited a number of times through my time in FFA, but love getting the chance to go with our class, and it really, really solidified a lot of those relationships just on the friendship level. It kind of took that past just the professional networking, but you spend a week in DC. It was like one of the hottest weeks of the spring, and then it also was one of the coldest, rainiest weeks of the spring all at the same time. So you just experience a lot of life and travel together. So that was really meaningful to me. And then our most recent seminar that Jenna had just talked about in Mattoon, we focused on energy ecosystems and sustainability. And that's a topic that I've been interested in for a long time, had some internships in that realm, and was really cool to see a lot of the speakers there were talking about real tangible projects they're working on in the space. And to me, it just kind of was a great way of connecting all the dots. So there's so many things in agriculture and some even, kind of tense issues that we'll debate about. And what was cool to me is that I think there's so many of those things that we actually we can all win, but we have to think about it not just in the short term, but in the long term. And we have to be willing to really step back and reevaluate the perspective that we're looking at something from. And so that was a really cool seminar for me, just from that perspective, and kind of even changed my mind on some things.
The class of 2027 started the program last August and will finish next March with an international trip to Vietnam and Singapore. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Team Trump is under pressure from Congress to release details of the U.S.-Iran deal to be signed on Friday. But the bottom line, according to President Trump, is that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. He says that's close to 100% of what he had wanted from the deal. Mr. Trump is venting. He's voicing frustration over Israel's attacks on Iranian-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. The president's remarks generating some concern among some American backers of Israel. The president says he is delaying the confirmation hearing for Jay Clayton, his choice for National Intelligence Director. The hearing being put on hold until Clayton's successor as the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York has been confirmed. And one person is dead following last night's crash of a business jet. Went down on a highway, burst into flames in Laredo, Texas. On Wall Street, the Dow futures 9 points lower. More details, srnnews.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WHOW, Spencer Jones hit his first Yankee Stadium home run in the second inning. Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt each added a 2-run drive in the fourth, and the New York Yankees rocked Davis Martin in a 12-2 victory over the Chicago White Sox on Tuesday night.
The White Sox failed to take a bite out of the Big Apple Tuesday night as they dropped the first of a 6-game road trip. A couple of uncharacteristic flubs by the Sox defense opened the floodgates in a 4-run third, and Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt blew it wide open for the Bronx Bombers in a 6-run fourth.
Swinging a fly ball will hit to right, and that will get on out of here. There's a swing and a towering shot left field, and it is a home run for Goldschmidt.
Tough night for Davis Martin. He allowed a career-high 9 runs in an 11-2 loss. Anthony Kay and Carlos Rodon square off in the second of 3 games at Yankee Stadium. I'm Jeff Meller, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 5:30 on the ESPN 1000 Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The White Sox are back on WHOW tonight as they try to bounce back in Game 2 of the series with the Yankees. Pregame is at 5:30 p.m. Andre Palante threw 7 strong innings. Blaze Jordan hit an RBI double, and Nathan Church added an RBI single as the St. Louis Cardinals beat the San Diego Padres 3-2 on Tuesday night. Palante is 8-4 and struck out 6 while giving up 2 runs on 4 hits, and Riley O'Brien earned his 18th save. Lars Nootbaar opened the second inning with a walk before he scored on Jordan's first double of the season. Church singled, and Jordan gave St. Louis a 2-0 lead. Nootbaar capped the Cardinals scoring with a sacrifice fly to center field in the 5th to put the Cardinals up 3-1. J.J. Weatherholt finished 3 for 4 with a walk for St. Louis, tying his season high in hits for the 4th time this season. Weatherholt became the second rookie this season with 65 or more hits and 10 or more home runs. Michael King is 4-6 and took the loss after allowing 3 runs on 5 hits in 4 1/3 innings. Ty France hit an RBI single in the 5th that scored a runner before being thrown out at second while trying to leg out a double. Jackson Merrill had a 1-run double in the 6th that scored Fernando Tatis Jr., but that was it for the Padres to cap a 4-hit night. The Cardinals became the 5th National League team to reach 40 wins this season. Right-hander Kyle Leahy is 5-3 with a 4.64 ERA and takes the mound for the Cardinals, while the Kansas City Royals have yet to announce a starter for the series opener on Wednesday. Willie Castro continued his hot streak with 2 RBIs, and TJ Rumfield hit a 2-run homer as the Colorado Rockies evened their series against the Chicago Cubs with a 5-2 win on Tuesday. Castro is 7 for 13 with 2 home runs, 3 walks, and 9 RBIs over the past 3 games. Ryan Feltner allowed 2 runs on 6 hits and struck out 7 in 4 2/3 innings for the Rockies, who are 28-46 overall and won for just the second time in the past 6 games. 4 Rockies relievers combined to hold the Cubs scoreless over the final 7 innings, with Blas Castano, who is 1-0, recording the win, and Jaden Hill pitching the 9th for his first career save. Cubs center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong, who hit for the cycle on Monday, led off with a home run for the 2nd straight game. Crow Armstrong has reached base in 20 straight games, hitting safely in 19 of them. The Cubs are 38-36 and added another run in the 2nd when Matt Shaw scored from 3rd on a wild pitch after Miguel Amaya ground rule double. Castro doubled in Jake McCarthy to get the Rockies on the board in the 3rd. Rumfield followed with a 385-foot shot to right center to make it 3-2. Cubs starter Edward Cabrera is 4-4 and allowed 5 runs on 3 hits in 4 1/3 innings, leaving the game in the 5th with a right hand cramp and 2 on base. Ryan Rollison allowed both inherited runners to score, 1 on a wild pitch and 1 on a Castro fielder's choice. The Cubs are batting 3 for 39 or 0.077 over the past 3 games and 12 for 83 or just 0.145 over the past 11, with runners in scoring position, going 0 for 8 on Tuesday and leaving 9 runners on base. The 3-game series wraps up Wednesday with Rockies left-hander Sean Sullivan, who is 0-0 with no ERA, facing Cubs right-hander Javier Assad, who is 4-1 with a 3.99 ERA. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Miami Marlins 8-2, while the Washington Nationals took down the Kansas City Royals 6-4. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Boston Red Sox 6-1, while the Cincinnati Reds beat the New York Mets 5-3. The Milwaukee Brewers took down the Cleveland Guardians 2-1, while the Minnesota Twins routed the Texas Rangers 12-2. The Houston Astros beat the Detroit Tigers 4-2, while the Seattle Mariners took down the Baltimore Orioles 3-1. The Los Angeles Angels shut out the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-0, while the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Athletics 6-5, and the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Tampa Bay Rays 1-0. The U.S. Open Men's Golf Championship kicks off tomorrow in Southampton, New York at the Shinnecock Hills Golf Course. The defending U.S. Open champion is J.J. Spawn, who last time emerged from a crowded pack on a soggy Oakmont Country Club course with birdies on the last two holes, including a 65-foot putt on the 18th for a 2-over-72 and a two-shot victory. He finished at 1 under 279, the only player to break par. Past winners at Shinnecock Hills include Brooks Koepka, Retief Gunson, Corey Pavin, Raymond Floyd, and as far back as James Foulis in 1896. This is the 6th time for the U.S. Open that it will be played at Shinnecock Hills. It's the only course to have hosted the U.S. Open in the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries. Scottie Scheffler goes for the final leg of his career Grand Slam. In the modern era of the Slam that dates to 1960, Tiger Woods is the only player to have completed it on his first try. International players have won the first two majors for the first time since 2013, with Rory McIlroy at the Masters and Aaron Ray at the PGA Championship. Brooks Koepka won the last time at Shinnecock Hills to become the first repeat U.S. Open champion in 29 years. Only 3 players have finished under par in the previous 5 Opens at Shinnecock Hills: Raymond Floyd, Retief Gunson, and Phil Mickelson, who was runner-up to Gunson in 2004. Bryson DeChambeau has missed the cut in both majors this year. He has won the U.S. Open twice in the last 6 years. Next year, the 127th U.S. Open will be at Pebble Beach. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Staff Media.